Originality, you know how we do it. What works for you won't work for me. So if this ain't your cup of tea, then leave the hot shit up to me. This is my dysfunctional atrocity.
I really love that intro. Oh my soul. Who did that? Oh, well, we are live. I'm Pebbles, the Playful Soul, and welcome to those of you who are tuning in to the first ever episode of my first ever freaking live stream YouTube thingy called the Playful Soul Mates. So yeah, thanks for tuning in wherever in the world you might be tuning in from. My name is Pebbles. I'm going to try and calm down because I'm very nervous and very excited. But yeah, basically what this series is going to be me chatting to people who were instrumental in bringing my first album, Playful Soul, to life. That was like 20 odd years ago. So it's like a lifetime ago. But yeah, I'm just going to be chatting to the various playmates, as I'm calling them. Some of them were featured on the album. Some helped write songs for the album. Some were producers on the album or were connected in some or other way to the project. And for our first guest ever, I'm going to be introducing... Drum roll, please. So she has been in the industry for 2 years. She is a powerhouse of her own. She's got the most soulful voice that is, you know, deeply rooted in jazz. She is a creative genius, and she has got so many stamps in her passport that I am so jealous. But not only does she have these stamps in her passport, she has taken everything in her mysterious traveling life and has infused it into all the creativity that she puts out. And I think she's absolutely amazing. She collaborated with me on the song Rise, which was on Playful Soul. Welcoming the amazing, incredible, phenomenal Khethi.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. Okay, I'm recording that. I'm grabbing that intro. Damn. Thank you, my friend. It's been such a journey, and 20 years, really.
I know.
We are growing higher and higher. That's the only version of growing.
Yeah. So just to give the people watching a little bit of context. The album was released 20 years ago. It was released through an album called Outrageous Records, which at the time was kind of a cultural movement. Would you agree?
For the front line, when you talk about independent, when the culture of indie labels was merging, South Africa had Outrageous Records, and it was fresh, and it did everything in its... And it gave that 360 for you guys as artists, because there was the record label, but then there was the media house, which was both internet and of course then on the TV side as well. Yeah. So it was a fresh offering, and I remember that it kept me going. I remember rage.co.za was like my best friend when I was in the UK for 6 months, just checking in on what was going on at home. I was happy to have that as an online presence. So that whole outfit, I mean, that trio, really, we take our hats off, and the work that came out of that.
Absolutely. They really paved the way. And we're referring, for those who don't know, we're referring to Zino, Maria McCloy, and Kutlwano Skosana, who, they were ahead of their time, I think. And they really did spearhead a movement that was like a cultural movement, which I didn't even realize at the time, because I had been living, over the seas and then came back to SA and wasn't really au fait with what was going on. But I believe that it was quite an incredible thing that they were doing. And I mean, I realize that now, but I think at the time I didn't have any appreciation for what that was. But yeah, so now I'd like to just touch on the journey that you and I have shared, Khethi. And I mean, it's been a long one, not only from Playful Soul. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that we've done since then in between. To go back in time, can you remember how we met? Because I remember being at the studio and I remember this tall woman coming in with like a very authoritative presence, and she spoke a certain way. She had a German manager. So I was just like, whoa, this woman is the bee's knees.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Yeah. It's your Wolfgang Zebrowski.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So that was an interesting brief encounter. But yes, how did I meet Pebbles? I first heard your voice. I was working with a mutual friend, Homotso, on the streets. We call her JT. She's another vocalist that we were backup singers for an artist from Mpumalanga, from Nelspruit called Ntshangase. And so we were doing a bit of a tour while she was releasing her album. And one day she came to visit me at home and she was so excited. She played me the song, which was the big hit, Destiny.
Yes.
And I was, for a while, I was like, what's going on? No, but who is this? She's from where? She's from here. Who? Wait, song. So I'm here. So okay. What are the things that are punching when I'm listening? I'm like, songwriting, melody quality, production, just delivery. This is done. This is a package and it's done. Who is this? Where is it? Where is it happening? Where is she happening? Can I what? Is this where we are at as South Africa in our, so I was very excited hearing the first my encounter of you was definitely hearing that song, and it blew my mind, and I knew I had to meet you one way or the other. I can't remember the circumstances of Zebrowski. I don't think he was facilitating a meeting between us per se, but maybe he was shopping, because he was a manager of mine for briefly.
Yeah.
That's
what I remember. Because I've got Dory brain, so like I kind of remember, but I don't really remember. But I just remember there was a German manager and there was this large lady who commanded presence. And I had been partnered with her for this song. Who wrote the beat for Rise? Who produced it?
The original, because what we have now is the remix, huh?
Yeah, we've got a remix that T-Man did, but who did the original?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I know that Battle Cat obviously was the mad controller. He was the mad genius who was always in studio. So Tongogara, for those of you who don't know, he's more commonly known as Battle Cat. Incredible mind, incredible producer. He just has this brain that hears things that you don't hear. And he was just, I remember him always being in studio, and then I'd come in and he'd be like, Pebbles, you got to do this because I've got this idea for this, and you must meet so and so. And I was just like, okay. So I seem to think that he must have had something to do with it. But just in terms of the writing process of the song Rise, and we'll play it for you just now. I mean, we'll put a link somewhere for you to go and listen to it. But it was, I think the reason that they paired me with you, right, was because I've always been a little bit too scattered, right? Because that's just my nature. And I like a little bit of this and I like a little bit of that. And you are very grounded. You have a very set intention in everything that you put out. And I think that they saw that if we put these two together, they'll probably complement one another. And And I think that really did work because, I mean, even on the song, you've got this jazzy something, something, and I've got this other kind of jazzy something, something. And there are even times when you can't tell who's singing. It's nuts.
Yeah, that
Right?
third verse is tricky for people's ears. That third verse is like, when did we switch?
Yeah.
So the
But in the
video would have
recording,
been
sorry, I'm talking over you.
Mhm.
I was going to say, in the recording of that track, what moment stood out for you? Like, what was the process like for you?
Oof. So I always write personal stuff. Like and the challenge was about rising, right? So it was a lot about, and for you to rise, it kind of also means that you've got to let go of things that you've been holding on, or that like has been old things that live inside you that like kind of have other dark memories, that don't serve you anymore,
Yeah.
and so my verse in fact speaks of a very personal journey, that I know I have. These are the things that I really need to let go of, because when I'm in self-doubt, I find myself going right back to these things that happened way when I was a kid that I need to get over. So I remember having to find a way that was still hip and happening, and melodic, with the music, but it still had to represent me in my
Yeah.
true sense. Yes, but and also just I liked uh, our rapport in
Yeah.
terms of
It was
melodic.
easy.
Yeah. We seem to have been, because what people need to understand with you is that you're hybrid, which is great. We've been, my generation we were turned into American music, American urban music, so R&B, soul music, and which became a bit of a situation when we were releasing songs in a market that was looking for Afro pop, right? So we were hybrid in our influence and in our writing, and then I had a lot of jazz underneath as a background, as my foundation at home,
Yeah.
and of course the African soul and the jazz, but there's a thick layer of like jazz melodies of old. So which is what I liked about you. You had those. I didn't have, when I said, when Frank Sinatra, you went off. When I said Nina Simone, you went off. I was just like, this girl is so cool. She's too cool. So yes, when I borrow, you know exactly which closet I went to. When you come with something, I know where, so there was,
Where to
we
take it.
knew each other's ribbons, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so we were able to create something that complemented each other without too much
It was
effort.
easy.
Yeah. No, that was
Yeah, it
fun.
was easy.
And that's what has kept us going for so long, and always gravitating even beyond the music, even in the other spaces as well of production and media. But
Absolutely. Just in terms of, okay, but there were obviously challenges, there must have been. And the one that I remember was the harmonies. Because you've got this jazz thing, which, okay, I get it. But then I must now harmonize with that line. Whoa. And it took me a minute. I remember I'd have to be like, okay, I go, she's doing that. Oh, then I'll have to go, yeah. You stretched that harmonization muscle.
But yes, okay. I can identify with, because I remember that when then comes performance, and then we have to learn other songs, and then I have to do harmonic structures, and Oh, okay. Oh, we don't go there. Okay, we okay. Ah, that's interesting. Shit, I'm not going to remember that. Okay, because my natural is to do that, and it's like, oh no, it's a different take, but it's also like it's a creative take. That okay, yes, and I saw that also in that the theme of just like different harmonization, and opening yourself to other people's styles for the exercise. My work with you, I found that. My work with our work with Zaki, I found that too. Harmonies that are very like particular, and you've got to respect
Yes.
them. So you've got to pay attention. It's not just about the feel and the heart, and but it's also like what is in fact needed for you to do when we turn this corner, so that I can do the other thing. I need you to do this. And later on, I had to learn also when I worked with Madala Bunene, Zulu harmonies, where I had to like take off my shoes and be like, leave your jazz at the door. Thank you. It's fine.
Well, that must have been quite an experience.
Yes.
Because there's one thing about you. I mean, you say that I'm a hybrid, but you're also like you've got a very well-rounded outlook, which is evident in the music that you put out and the content that you put out. Not just the music, but also like in the production that you do, because you're also in media. You've got Campaign Africa, which we'll get to just now. But I feel like you draw from everything that you've been exposed to. You're like a sponge. You take it all in, and then you infuse it into the stuff that you put out. So beautifully, though. Do you know what I mean? And so is that an intentional thing that you do, or is it just like, it's just what comes naturally?
I think we are conduits. We really are. We are, and I think our work is a reflection of where we are, where life has brought us, which is why we sometimes take so long to produce the next album per se, because we have to live an experience, and then be able to absorb that to then produce the new work that speaks to something that is tangible. I remember having a hard time, and I two friends of ours have asked me to write songs, and I just couldn't arrive. And they were asking me to write Zulu songs that were special for them, but it wasn't my story. So I couldn't. I'm not a commercial writer. I'm not a songwriter in the commercial sense. I really write things that I understand and I feel, and I couldn't arrive. And that was sad. That was because I didn't mean to be disappointing. And they had been listening and watching the work that I was doing. They were like, okay, she's competent. Clearly, she can then apply herself in doing this. And it just felt like it looked like I was being a diva. And the French would say, it was just there.
I've had a similar experience to that, where there was a rapper guy who had a song that he wanted me to be on, and he wanted me to be a certain way, and I was like, this is not me. This is not me. And then I recorded it, and then they started sending paperwork, and I was like, nah, this song is not going anywhere. Sorry.
No.
But you just mentioned that, as the French would say, where in the world are you, Khethi?
All right. I'm from South Africa. Right? So we're going to talk coordinates, because I'm from this country that is named just purely coordinates. So I am east of Madagascar and southwest of Mauritius. Somewhere in the middle is another little island that apparently is not in Africa. Okay.
Yeah, I think even my mind is boggling at that. I happen to know where you are, but when you say that, I'm like, huh? What does she mean?
Yes,
I believe that, what's his name? Macron was visiting there. Just tell the people where you are. The people mustn't have to guess and go Google.
Oh, the best location for winter vacation for your kids. Come to Reunion Island. Reunion Island is in between Madagascar and Mauritius, okay? And in the same way that if you want to go like white sands, fancy beach, go to Mauritius, we'll forgive you. But if you are the adventure type that wants to go hiking and loves nature and is curious about live volcanoes and, you know, interesting things like that, and beautiful scenery and loves the green and rainforests, come and visit us and we'll take you around for sure.
Is Reunion Tourism paying you for that? That you just they ought to be.
I don't know, but you see, I'm creating my job. I'm edging. I am the. This is me. Yeah, my niche.
Creator.
This is my niche.
I see you. I see you. Oh man, but yeah. I mean, you've traveled all around the world. You've been to the UK. You're now living in Reunion. Where else have you been that you have loved and that you've immersed yourself into the culture and drawn inspiration from?
Right. So not too much around the world, because you see, around the world then sees like I'm afraid of going to South America because I think I'm going to love it and not come back. So I have not been to the Americas, and I'm not interested in US. Sorry, but like South America, Brazil, it's too tempting. I'm curious about the East, but I haven't ventured yet. I'm making friends out in India and Japan. My mom was in Taiwan. So we are curious about that, definitely. But I've kind of, this block, this Africa block that takes us to the Europe spaces and then down, that's my global experience for now. But yes, I've lived and worked in South, okay, that's home, Botswana, Malawi, Tanzania, and of course then the UK, and a short stint out in France, but then I'm now living in Reunion Island.
See, that's a lot of travel for some people. Some people have not left their hometown. Just saying. So that's quite a bit of travel. And of all the places you've been to, okay, you're not allowed to mention South Africa. Of all the places that you've traveled to, what have you loved the most? Okay, I know this is a really hard question. So if I say best food.
Ooh, where I'm at. Reunion
Okay.
Island. Yeah, because it's got a oriental, it's more global, you know, so the mix is really, yes. But okay, you were going to give another classification.
Best looking men.
Okay. Okay, so for just eye candy, like feed my eyes eye candy, maybe here, but like no, in fact, no, East Africa, and Tanzania. Well, yeah, okay, so that's the difference. Here, just to look at. Don't expect anything else to happen. You try to do anything else because it's gonna backfire. But
you just say that because your mom is watching. Yeah. I see.
My in-laws. What did she say? Can somebody translate? But yes, maybe to engage and get to know. I think Tanzania's got an interesting mix combination. I'm yet to visit Rwanda. It looks and Malawi. Malawi was also quite. Okay. Africa's got it. Okay, let's just.
Okay, enough said.
Get your passport and travel. Okay.
And then best musical influence from what you've experienced.
Ooh. So the dopest producer that I've worked with is from Malawi. That was Q Maluezi. That was like, and I mean, it was a time also, a period in time. He's now a poet, but he's always a producer. But he's, in terms of quality of, and I suppose, yeah, like the time in which we meet to work, the availability of all of us to actually just pour in as much as possible. Definitely, I had the best experience working with the Malawians, and I worked with them in Malawi, but also in the UK, when we collaborated with the French and the Spanish and the Indians and the Jamaicans. It was 9 countries that came together for an awesome production. Yes, I did work with a few beautifully talented producers in Tanzania as well. Ali Dadi, who's now in the US, and Dungu DIG Digital. He's a hip hop producer as well in Dar es Salaam. So there's talent, guys. I remember when I was in Malawi, and the question was just like, but you're from Johannesburg. What are you doing here? Why? Everybody's trying to go to Johannesburg, to South Africa. Why have you come here? And I'm like, I'm following quality sound. Okay, if I'm finding it in the smallest country on the continent, that's where it's at. We can't deny it. It's, so it's about quality, it's about engagement, collaboration, and also just culture,
Yeah.
This is enrichment that it's a rediscovery of who we are. South Africans, we owe ourselves this continent. We owe ourselves to, they closed the fence, and we thought that we've accepted it as okay.
Yeah.
We are not from South Africa. We are from the continent.
Preach, sister, preach. And I was going to ask you something else, but should we have a little bit of like a musical interlude where we play the remix of the song Rise that T-Man did? Okay, tech people, can you please do the things? I only say that because
we are so fortunate to have
I don't know. But yeah, this song was this is a remix of a song from Rise that T-Man Yeah, so you get a feel, right, for the vibes. We're not gonna play the whole song because we're gonna leave a link for y'all to go listen to it in your own time. I know it was like too short. It was too short, but there's still more that I want to chat to you about, Khethi.
Of course.
Yeah. So you were talking about collaborations, right? And I remember that you did a collaboration with the Mahotela Queens. How did that come about? And what was that experience like? You might need to give some people context because they may not know. They might be too young to understand the significance of such a collaboration. But if you could just tell us about that experience, how it came about, and yeah.
Mahotela Queens are the oldest performing band in South Africa. They have been performing since 1964. I haven't spoken to Mama Hilda in a few years, so I'm not sure about how they are doing or if they're in fact still performing, but they are the longest stretch, and they have a unique South African harmonies, a unique sound. They of course worked with Mahlatini. It was Mahlatini and Mahotela Queens. There's classics, and they are one of the most well-toured, next to Ladysmith Black Mambazo back in the days. So 3 ladies who are singing Zulu music, but maybe it might not just be restricted to Zulu music, but representing and flying the South African flag since 1964. 1964 is the year Mandela went to jail. 1964 is also the year Brenda Fassie was born. So 1964 is a long time, guys. Don't there's experience there.
Not to be taken lightly.
No.
Sure.
No. Yes.
I mean,
So.
No. Carry on.
Right. Okay. So I had gotten a lot of slack. I've said that I worked. The best producer has been Q Malawezi out in Malawi, and I worked with Bokimba for my first album. That got me. I got into trouble, and you had to bail me out of that trouble because I thought that was the first collab that we were going to talk about. Collab where I skipped the country for 6 months to go and record.
Yeah. So there was this project. Okay. Yeah. So there was this project that Black Rage were instrumental in making come together. It was called the Coca-Cola Collaborations,
Right.
Coca-Cola Collabs, right?
Right.
And we got paired up with various people that might not necessarily have been people that you would have worked with. I think Lyra was with Double HP. I can't remember, but like the whole mixing with who?
Lyra was with Booga Love and H2O.
Oh, snap. You see, can't even remember.
To that album, you see.
And then I
was with, yes, and you were with? Yeah, you were in
I
an
with?
interesting collaboration.
I can't remember. Honestly, wasn't it one of the guys from the Coca-Cola, the 101, the 101 group? Oh, frick,
Right.
That's really bad that I don't remember.
It exists. That album lives on Spotify. Okay, so
If anybody watching knows,
we can pull that out
or can
too.
shed some light, please put something in the comments. In fact, do feel free to comment and like at any point and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, no, the album does exist on
Okay, so
Spotify.
while Khethi is looking for it, I'm just going to tell you the story of what happened, right?
Pebbles was with Jay and Richard.
Yeah, from 101.
Yes.
They were from the group 101, yes. So we've all been paired up with these people, right? And and Khethi, I think, was paired up with 340 mil, right?
The sweetest pairing.
It was like pairing made in heaven.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna say that I was jealous because I wasn't jealous. But I was just like, she got to do a 340, okay.
and Jossie, yes.
Snap, man. Yeah, so
okay.
So if you find it, you have to play it, hey? You have to play it. If you do find it, I'm just saying.
The journey is to Mahotela Queens. So that collaboration, the Coca-Cola collaboration, happened, and I worked with 340 Mil and Jossie. What made it very unique was that we were three. So it was South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. So it was a Pan-African collaboration, which I loved as well. It was true to my wiring. And so, but then I got called to go and record the album with the indie labels that we were out in the UK. And I got into a lot of trouble recording Exemplify or coming, because then we came back to try and license it. And there was just politics about who does she think she is as a young artist, now talking about licensing where artists get signed. You come in with 3 songs, now you're coming in with a full album with this whole crew of like these accents, this French accent and Malawi accent. What's going on? Yeah, no, there was a lot of beef. So much so that my 2-year contract with my indie label lapsed without a signing. Okay, so we're not going to go into those politics. And so my second album was Amoya. I made it a point to then record it all at home. It was going to be a South African production. That was, because I got really, it was unfair how so much work had been gone in, so many countries had come together, an amazing production, but we didn't get, there was just politics. So we said, okay, fine, let's prove that, come, let's do a South African production.
Yeah.
And Gallo was behind it, well, the production of it. And I worked with a very young producer who could create, like he had the instrumental he had, and it was just, I could hear it. And the studio we were at, Ian Osran, which is Cupboard. Oh no, no. I'm sorry, Musical Cupboard. I'll remember the name of the studio. And he helped us because he's got a long-standing network of artists that he has worked with as a stalwart as an engineer, and a studio that has so many years in having worked with a wide range of artists. And so when I said Mahotela Queens, he was like, yeah, we can call Mama Hilda. And she's in Gallo, so it's the same label, so it shouldn't be too complicated. And so she made time. I gave her a call. She came in. We sat down. I told her what I had in mind. We sat down through the music. She listened, and then then she came up with the hook. The hook is Simon Tumun, yes, Ibalalin, yes.
Wow.
But like she sounded like an oracle.
Can we play it?
Yes, do we have it? We in line? I think so.
I think we do. Tech team. Our tech team is on it, Khethi. I mean, like.
Oh, but then I should have told.
Yeah, I know this is the Playful Soul Mates. It's called Simuntu Munyene.
Yes, it should. If she.
So they're going to be putting it up. And then after we've played this song, I do need you to tell the Coca-Cola collab story, because I think that's a good one.
I got you.
Are you hearing me? So yeah, we're going to once we've played Simuntu Munye, we're going to go back to Coca-Cola collabs. But guys, while I have you here, be sure to subscribe to my channel, okay? Because it just means it's going to get better and better the more you subscribe. And please comment. I haven't seen anybody commenting. And like some feedbacks would be nice. Faisal Day! Oh, love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh, I love you, Faisal.
Yay. Hello, Faisal. Long time. Hey,
yeah,
no need to come to reunion. How's that?
I think that's a brilliant idea.
I just want.
Okay, Tech Team is telling me that they're not finding the track. Do you have it there? Sorry. I thought I had made it available, but clearly
it should be on your WhatsApp. Where are we? Okay.
If I press a button now, the screen might go blank. So I'm not even trying to do that. But yeah, if I were to tell you some of the things that Faisal Day says he actually saw the Mahotela Divas. Hello, okay. Find the love. Okay. I remember seeing them once. It was I can't even remember. I think you were also there, Khethi. It was in the track Will Find Us. Okay. It was in Victoria. It was one of those gigs that Sfiso had organized. Remember the dude from
I arrived late. I was so terribly, it was strange. It was very strange. I arrived, I missed them. They had just left.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna move along since we can't find the track, and that's okay. Like, again, we'll add it to our playlist.
I've sent it to our tech lady, but it's okay. We can. It's
okay. So
it's in the
while we
bag.
find it, can you tell us about the Coca-Cola collab situation? Because I think it's quite funny.
So Okay, one little step back. The first time I came to Outrageous Records, which is then Black Rage, yes, as the team.
Yes.
Was
The
that.
team was Black Rage
So,
Productions. Yeah.
Right. Because I did Kimberly Rise with Proverb.
Okay.
So I came in. That's how I met this. I came into this circle. We recorded that song, and then I had gone to Malawi. I came back and I met this guy, the German Sabrowski, and then I met a few people. Then I was introduced to Zino formally. Introduced to Zino formally regarding my demo. But then Zino was heavily working on Coca-Cola collaboration, getting frustrated because there were many artists they had designed the collabos. They had different artists that they wanted to put together, but record labels were coming back and not releasing some of the artists.
Yeah.
And so I came in somewhere in this space of his frustration regarding a certain very prominent female artist who was being paired up with 340 Mil and Jasid, but her label was not releasing her. So that's how I got the slot. Really.
Who was it? Who was it?
Judith Sapuma.
Oh, she's the one that I lost the Sama to. Anyway, that's another story for another day. I'll come back to that. Kanyisa is loving the interview. Woo-hoo! She's enjoying the live. Hey, Kanyisa. So hold on. You say she turned it down.
Oh, BMG would not. BMG did not release her to do the album. So that's how I got the slot. But also then, I mean, we were all, as young people at that time, all of us were very much in love with 340 Mil. And I had been in love with Bongo Muffin for a very long time. So this was just like, what's going on? Are you for real? Yes, please. And then we had our first rehearsal. We both, 340, I said Jazzworks, because Simpiwe Dana had taken me to Jazzworks and I'd had a few sessions with Jazzworks and I loved the space. So I was like, no, I'm working. That's the studio I want to work at. And then 340 Million arrived and I wasn't there and they were like Jazzworks. So Zino was just like, okay, where, what, Jazzworks it is, it seems. And so we had our first rehearsal at 808, at the basement of 808.
Yeah.
And while we were waiting for Jassy to arrive, we were jamming. And we were jamming to a very easy song that I had written called Be With Me. And, you know, Tiago had picked up the guitar and he was loving that. And then, so the groove, we were moving with it. And then Jasid came, so I was like, okay, fine. So can we now write the song? Like with the collabo track. Tiago was like, collabo track? Isn't this the collabo track? No. You know, like, Pedro.
You wrote it already. What are you talking about?
Pedro, you're going to write a verse, right? Jasid, you're writing a verse. She's talking about being with you all. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that is such a beautiful track. We need to find it. But before we do, can we play that Mahotela song in the meantime while we look for the other one? Do you have the other one? Yes.
Just to pour up the pour.
So from the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro, he lives into the air
is gasping for air, chanting out rhythms of survival. I'm not quite sure I'm at liberty to be telling you all the secrets, and maybe that's why I keep stuttering in this point in time. But the message is clear: we are one.
Yes, Mama Hilda is an oracle.
Right.
Like in the mountains.
Oh, that must have been such an experience, though.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So be with me on the Coca-Cola collab.
Right.
So
yes. So yes.
We found the song, but it's not on a platform that we're able to play it right now. So we will maybe direct you to another platform. It's a streaming platform. The branding is green and black. Spotify. Anyway, I can say that here. I forget because I'm from that other world where you're not allowed to say or do certain things. But yeah, you can find the track "Be With Me" on Spotify, guys. So go stream it after you're done here. But what I was getting to, so you were fortunate enough to work with them in writing the track, right? And then where is it that you disappeared to, that we were now recording the songs live for TV, that they had to call this other chicken?
Right. So yes, we wrote the song, we recorded it in the studio, the audio was done, and the album, for the CD, that work was finished. Now the promotional work had come to fruition, but it took it wasn't, there was a few months, I think, in between, maybe 2. It wasn't too long, but in that time, because now this was May, I left in May. I remember because I arrived on my birthday, 25th, which
Africa Day.
Yes. So I had been to Malawi in November the previous year.
Yeah.
And we had parted ways. They went back to the UK. I went to South Africa, did my shopping around, had my recordings and, lots of plugins. But then we were in communication, and the decision was made that Khethi must come and let's just record this album. We are independent labels, yes, but let's just put it together because there's a great synergy here. There had been 5 songs that were the EP that we had done first in Malawi.
Yeah.
So the invitation came then for me to go and do that. And I took it. I was just like, well, I'm done with the recording of this. But then I didn't really think about the promotional elements to it. And I was out. I was out to go and record my album, my independent album. And then I was summoned, like, yo, in fact, we are looking for you because we need you to come and do the promotional thing, the live performances. And I was like, well, guys, I'm here. But, because we now had recorded Rise at this point.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, if you're going to need somebody to pull it off, I can't think of anyone better to do it. I'm going to have to ask Pebbles to help me through. And she's in the project anyway. Okay, so.
It was so cool. It was so weird, but so cool. Yeah. It was a pleasure and an honor to represent you in that moment. And I got to hang with 340 Mil and Jossie, so nah. But yeah, I think that's another reason why people will often hear you and think it's me, or hear me and think it's you. It's happened many times, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're on that track." I'll be like, "No, that was Khethi." But yeah. Well, I mean, we've actually worked on so many different projects together. From obviously there was Rise on Playful Soul. We had the Kizuri Queens, where me and Notende started out doing tributes for not Africa Month, for Black History Month, which we used to do. It started off at the Africa Freedom Station. Fiso had kind of like rallied us together. And yeah, there was some interesting memories there. Like, guys, if I tell you that
House of
Nsako. What did I say? Africa Freedom Station.
Well, because that's where then, you know, things fell apart and then things happened, picked up, it came alive again, you know,
Yeah. But like, if I tell you, what was I going to say? So during the rehearsals, like, we were broke, right? All of us were broke. From me, you, attended the band, everyone was broke. So we would make our way somehow to House of Nsako. I think I had a car at the time. We'd make our way there. But then we'd rehearse, it'd be all amazing. And then it would come to lunchtime and we'd be like, guys, what are we actually going to eat? And we would literally put our cents and coins together and we'd go down to the nearest chip shop, buy a packet of chips and a loaf of bread. And that was us. It was like, but it didn't feel like we were struggling. Do you know what I mean?
No, because the music was so rich. The sound was so amazing. Like what we were creating was
something we
was really, yeah. I mean, if you package with the sound that we were creating, that's like cigar bars. That's like fancy restaurant, like dining. The sound. Yeah. Forget what we were going through, but what we were producing.
That is something that so many creatives financially challenged.
Yeah, thank you.
We were financially challenged. No, we were broke. We were broke, okay? But what I was going to say is that is something that so many creatives go through. They'll be in the most horrible situations, going through the worst kind of things. And for some reason, those tend to be the times that A, we're more creative, and B, we're able to express our creativity in a way that the rest of the world may never know that you're going through all of that stuff. And you're absolutely right, Faisalday. It is soul food. Yes. So we are thankful for the adversities and all of those things that we go through. But I miss that trio that we had, Yumi Notende. That was a winning formula.
That was fire.
We did so much, so many things. We did,
and we were paying tribute to 4 women, which were Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, Miriam Makeba, and Brenda Fassie. So our repertoire was being pulled between these 4, and it was such a joy. I mean, I remember my difficult Brenda Fassie song. Oh my God, what was it? But it was. That's an anti.
Go on, do it.
Isn't it just okay? So don't go there either, Pebs. We said we don't talk about that.
She mentioned Brenda. Okay, what was the song? Firstly, what was the song that you struggled with? Promises. Remember that we did that song on. Okay, sorry guys, I have to for a moment digress. We called onto Afro Cafe to go perform this song because we've been doing these Kizuri Queen gigs all over Johannesburg and Pretoria and all these places. Afro Cafe calls us in because they're doing a tribute to Brenda Fassie. Every artist that comes in has to do a song. So we got in and, we were told the brief that we got from the production company was that, no, guys, all come in black. Just come in black, right? So Nati, we listened to the brief. We all come in black, in our different kind of black outfits. Does the producer, when we're now backstage getting ready, not come and tell us, so guys, are you the backing singers? We're like, sorry, what? Like, you're all in black. When you want to be mad, but you realize it's not going to help this here situation. But at some point, karma is going to get you. Anyway, that producer knows who she is. And I do believe karma got her. Anyway, coming back. Coming back to, where were we? We were still on Kizuri Queens. Oh, Brenda Fassie.
Yeah,
Okay,
boy. Yes.
Khethi has got a story about when she, let her tell the story actually. Just tell the story.
I feel like I'm on Housewives. I'm on the Real Housewives. Okay, fine. When they just like drop the bomb and you're just like, Mara, how can you? Ish. The day I met Sabrowski was at this performing club. It was called Kilimanjaro back in the days. It's out in Melrose Arch. And Ulungi was doing some like discovery of up and coming talent, and so she had booked me a slot to do. Yes, there's a good question. Booked me a slot to do 3-4 songs, and one of them was the Mkomboti, Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Turns out that Brenda Fassie is in the audience, and but I'm also just a bit edgy, don't really know. I'm still a young artist. It's many years ago. Then there's a moment where I'm going to the bathroom, and lo and behold, she's following me. Well, she wasn't following me. She was also going to the bathroom. You know, and I hadn't gone up to go and greet her like all the other good kids had done so. So, and then she was wearing like platform shoes, and it just, there's a ramp that goes up to the bathroom. And so I was maybe like 15 meters in front of her, and it just felt like, in my cubicle. And there she is, and she stands right in front of my cubicle, and she just stares at me, and I am scared. So I'm like, I freeze, and I close the door.
You closed the door on Brenda Fassie. You closed the toilet door on
Guys,
Brenda
don't
Fassie.
cancel me, please. Guys, don't cancel me, please. I'm so sorry. I was like very young and scared and stuff.
I can't even deal.
I can't even believe that this is now on YouTube.
Forever. But now, do you want to sing a song? I feel like we should sing a song. I'm just feeling like need to prep the vocals and stuff for my upcoming gigs, you know?
Right. So,
what do you want to say?
It's a struggle when you find that the answers to the questions in your life are just evading your mind. But it takes time and understanding to be free of all the demons eating you right from inside. like a caged bird.
Yes, you just wanna fly.
As a new dimension. Yes. Okay.
Away from all the tension, start a new life.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done my Screen keeps freezing. Faisal just said frozen delight. So I'm guessing that's what's happening. Guys, this is like technology and technically challenged human, okay? And we are in South Africa, and my internet's not
I'm just
the
happy
greatest.
that there's no load shedding.
So these things are going to happen. Yeah, don't even say that. That's the reason why my mother's not watching. She's so upset. Mom, you can watch it later, I had to say. Are you going through menopause, Khethi? What's going on?
No, it's 27 degrees, Pebbles, okay? It's 10 p.m. and the temperature is 27 degrees. And it's 27.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not nothing to be embarrassed about.
It's 27.
It happens to all of us.
29. I'm not there. Okay, I have not arrived.
Okay.
No.
All right,
no.
Fine. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
Not
But,
my story. I'm not there yet.
You literally live on an island. What is that like, though? And like, how did you come to be there, and what has that experience been like for you?
So in South Africa, as an independent artist, I ended up being part of the South African Music Managers Forum. And then I was in the board of the South African Music Managers Forum and was then deployed to represent them on the Moshito board. And Moshito, we know, does the annual event, the exhibition, every September. And so I think it was my third cycle, where in June we came to Reunion Island to shop for artists there's a big festival here in June called Sakifo, but the week before Sakifo is a conference called Indian Ocean Music Market. And so on the Indian Ocean, it comes from different countries, India, Mauritius, Seychelles, Madagascar, Southern and Eastern Africa. We gather to discuss the business of music. So the people from, what is our favorites that we keep wanting to arrive at and we have not yet been to in Zanzibar?
Southeast Sara.
So festivals like these as well, or the producers of these festivals would come together to come and shop for their upcoming festivals. And we had the conversation about a reggae band or a reggae representation in South Africa being at needing our attention, So we left with that in mind, like we were going to look for a reggae sound as well. Let's see what we can find. And so while here, I met the Rouge Reggae. It's called Tira is the lead artist. Rouge Reggae. The band is called Rouge Reggae. Okay. And they were giving, I should have done my homework. There was a band, back in that time, there was like a band in Australia of like a mixed band that was with horns and nice vocals.
I know the band. I think I know the band. Didn't they have a song called Cat Empire? Cat Empire. Was it Cat Empire? Because Cat Empire, they had a song called Hello Hello.
I'm not sure. But this was 2015 back then. So I'm 2014, 2015. This was the Fat Freddy's Drop. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, gotcha.
Fat Freddy's Drop. They had this sound, this international sound, this reggae band, five-piece reggae band that was sounding like, and I mean, it's really about that trombone, right? That just knows to be on time. So we were blown away, really, and we made sure that this band comes through to come and do and to be part of our Moshito 2015. And then there was a Zakifo in Durban. So the relationship was, and me meeting them as an administrator of music more than a musician. Then I come on holiday because their friend then takes a liking to me. And so there was a 2-year long.
Why are you hitting up again?
Guys,
Why are you heating up again when you mention this person? Who is this person? Why is this person making you sweat? Just talking about him. I don't understand. Okay, so you met this person, Moshito, blah, 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 and...
Yeah. And so I started doing a lot. This band used to call me up for residencies at the City Desire here. So we'd do a few projects where they liked the fact that I was jazz. So I was applying myself onto a reggae space. So it gave a fresh sound. And so we did a few, like 3 or 4 residencies. And in that time, this relationship was also growing until his people came to see my people. And then there was a collabo of a person that came about, who became our project. My gosh, that Khethi's talking in codes.
Okay, so for the people that didn't get that, because there may be some kids, because this is not made for kids. Anyway, basically what Khethi is saying, that she had a baby with this person that she met in Reunion Island. Yes. And stayed because she loved the place and the life that she's able to afford her son there better. Because it's nice in Europe, isn't it? She's in France on Reunion Island. It's a bit like Cape Town, isn't it? I mean, sorry, I mustn't do that. But I would imagine being so far from home. Pardon?
No, I'm saying it's in the middle of the ocean. So at least the traditional part. And then, I don't know if you remember my first reference when we said, they're nice to feed the eyes with, but when you engage them, things can go. So the traditional things
you got a
done.
Beautiful son, Lelo. In fact, you know what I really love is that I love both of your children. Nozizwe is like you. She's like, whenever I speak to her on the phone, I'm like, am I speaking to Khethi or her mom? No, I'm called Zizwe. So this is Zizwe that I'm speaking to. But I love the fact that you have combined their names for your company name.
Yes, Lelo Zwe. Mpumelelo and Nozizwe.
I think that is a beautiful thing. And if we move on, I can't believe that we've already been live for 1 hour and 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh
that is insane. But I know when you're having fun. But now, what was I going to say? I was going to say your company. What are you up to at the moment? Like, what projects are you working on? Where is your attention focused?
Right. So I've been raising a kid with special needs. My son was born as a musician. It was difficult to have a child that's born who's like profoundly deaf. One of the reasons why we are not in South Africa is that he is able to get the care and the intervention, that program that gives him cochlear implants. And being deaf comes from, always stems from an underlying issue, and he's got what they call Usher syndrome, and it's type 1. So it's his vision impairment also that will come later on. But so we have to give him his hearing, because he might lose his periphery. Sure. His main will be okay, but he'll need anyway. So here there is an amazing intervention program that exists, and so this has been the project. He's now almost 8. He's settled. He's just finished he's about to finish grade 2. So we are okay with that. So eventually now I'm able to turn around and say the music. I've been working with the reggae band, but I'm a jazz artist. So it's only now that I've been able to. We've just done a live box, which is like if you think of Afro Cafe, but like a miniature version of it. They've got it that runs weekdays. So we've just had a broadcast 2 weeks ago on live box where I did 2 songs as an introduction of who I am. I'm also working with the music school in preparation for next week, the 30th, which is International Jazz Day.
Yeah.
And so I will be performing one song with the ensemble that will be doing their repertoire. Looking forward to that. It's been a beautiful challenge learning Portuguese, singing a Brazilian song. I don't know if I want to give. Do we tell them what the song is? It's very exciting. Miriam Makeba
Yes.
did it.
I mean, I don't know. If you want it to be a surprise, you don't. Oh,
it's okay. We'll share it once it's out. But it's a
that
beautiful
sounds like
addition
such a fun
to
project, though.
yes, with young people, with young, these are teenagers in high school, but they've been in music school all their lives, and so now it's their presentation that they clearly would maybe have to do every year. I'm assuming.
Sure.
So this is us, and they are playing Herbie Hancock. This is like an Al Jarreau stuff. I'm just like, what? Okay, let's have some fun. And it's great because I haven't really been seeing a lot of like jazz clubs. We're so spoiled in South Africa, right, for talent. Like we take this for granted. The jazz bands are available. The jam sessions, if you're looking for one, you'll find one. There's always someone that can match your energy in the music spaces. I've been hungry for a minute, so I'm very happy to, now that I'm giving myself the time, I'm finding the little corner of the jazz community here. Otherwise, at home, I'm helping out my brother with. I love coordinating. You and I we've worked on projects before. And I enjoy this being away, kind of. But dealing with people in different spaces and putting a project together. So I'm helping my brother who is into sports. He's got an NPC called Zazi Sports Development. And he is training hockey in the hood, in our hood, in Sobantu, and in Pietermaritzburg. In Pietermaritzburg, yes. So it's called Zazi Sports Development, and he's been working on it for a very long time, even from in Johannesburg. And he's got a beautiful network of people, but as the artists also can get, they just want to do the actual work. He's just a coach. That's he wants to
admin stuff. Can't somebody else do it?
Yes. So I'm the somebody that's doing that. That's like writing the sponsorship letters. That is doing the logos. That so I'm saying, look, help me by at least film the festival that you are doing, or the practice sessions, and then I have to edit, because that's the other thing that I'm loving, and you helped me to discover that in our journeys. Editing is something that I can focus, and do that and figure out how to do it into rhythm and the music, and I really enjoy that.
That's so cool. Yes. And you've also done that on your Campaign Africa project as well. Just tell us. Sorry, I know I interrupted you.
No.
We are kind of strapped for time because I gotta go make dinner and stuff. But tell us about Campaign Africa. What is it? How is it going to impact the continent and us creatives in the continent?
Thank you. CampaignAfrica.org is the website as it stands. The inspiration was to focus particularly 2023, which was the 60th anniversary of the Organization of African Unity. We took time to create a series focusing on highlighting African excellence, from innovation to the arts to, we had 5 themes. oh my gosh, I'm bad. But it's please visit campaignafrica.org. The work that we did, what we did is that we produced during the month of Africa, during the May month of Africa, which was then the 60 years, in commemoration of the 60 years, we produced 23 episodes of content that celebrated Africans doing amazing things on the African continent, but also in the diaspora as well. But it is just, it's about how do we bring together, how do we collaborate? Because that's really, for me, that is the heartbeat. That's where things happen. When we pull our resources together in producing something that is beneficial to the continent, not only now, but long term, in the longer term. We need to talk like this for now. Yeah. I'm fascinated also, met about a gentleman under Campaign Africa. I also feature TextFed Limited, which is a company that is dealing with banana fiber into
what now?
Yes, banana stems, banana trees in South Africa. We are like KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, the Tzaneen, up there. We have a lot of banana farms. We produce a lot of bananas, right? So every year, the trees give us the fruit. We cut the fruit, we sell the fruit. Afterwards, we chop the tree and then we throw it away. But this stem inside are fibers that can give us things that we can make. This is my hat as an example. We can make fabric
made from banana.
Right? This is not, but we can. The banana can be manipulated to make it is as diverse as, if you understand, hemp.
As hemp. Gotcha.
It is as diverse as hemp, but we harvest the fruit and we throw away so I'm very much interested in developing ways in which we can benefit and create an economy for us using what we throw away, which is then our
so you're an activist, you're a musician, you are a mother, you are a producer. Like, what hats don't you wear? Like, you want to save the planet, like all of this stuff. You want to unite Africa. I think it's very telling that your birthday is on Africa Day. Like, can we just?
Yeah, I think that is. I think that is the.
Can you also make? Oh, there we go. Bananas are an interesting multi-flexible fruit. But did you know? Tech team's telling me that they can also be made into sanitary pads.
Yes, yes, and hair extensions. And hair extensions.
And hair extensions.
And hair extension. And furniture.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. And coffins instead of pine, because they are also biodegradable.
That makes a lot of sense. Biodegradable. Eco warrior goddess. I could not have put it better myself, Basil. That's why we love you. But now we are gonna have to go just now. But before we do, I'm gonna keep it playful, right? I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, quick fire questions in our first soul session game. You can't think about it. You have to say the first thing that comes to mind of the two options I give you. Okay. Playful soul or serious soul?
Playful.
Studio or stage?
Stage.
Midnight snack or sunrise smoothie?
Ooh, midnight. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, you know, there's things that should happen and then there's what is. So
okay. So midnight snack and then peanut butter or jam?
Peanut butter.
Okay. Jazz or soul?
Oh, that's not fair.
If anybody can guess or has a suggestion on which of the two she should pick, please post it in the comments. So, Khethi, where can we find you on the socials?
Where are people hanging out? So Insta
All
is
of
Mina Khethi on IG. Otherwise, Khethi, Khethi, so MINAKHETHI on Insta. Otherwise, it's KHETHI 974 on TikTok. 974 because that's the area code here. Don't ask. That's yeah. 974. Khethi 974 is where TikTok. So they stole my account. They stole my account just before Campaign Africa launched in 2023. They hijacked it. They hacked into it on my Facebook. So for now, we are No Moya Mkazi, which is my name No Moya, and Mkazi is Istugo Sagiti. So that's who I am on from Facebook.
Okay, so guys, I hope you were listening. If not, you can always watch back. Yeah. Say again.
CampaignAfrica.org on the website. Otherwise, there's a Campaign Africa on YouTube. Otherwise, also Khethi Ntshangase on YouTube.
Lovely.
The music is now available on the spaces and the
We love this. Finally, how many years has it been?
It's a struggle when you find.
I can't even do it. Thank you for bringing it back to Playful Soul. Tell me, what does Playful Soul mean to you now?
Frontier, blazing. When we're looking in hindsight, it was an introduction of a new sound. We expressed the fresh and organic authenticity of Black Rage and what it was in that time, what it was doing, breaking the barriers. And so the sound, the producers, and my hats off really on the production team, what it was doing for hip hop, for soul, because we were really like
urban is the
urban sound. Thank you. The urban sound of what was going on.
When I use that term, I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? What is urban? What is urban? No, stop it.
Well, yes. I know. Are you dissing the A&Rs right now? Oh,
Risa,
man.
let's not even go there. Let's not.
Yeah, no. So there was a lot of it was insisting that we are definitely fresh, we are new, we are not bound by bubblegum music or Afro pop. We are more than that. Give us the space. We need to be doing.
Viva peanut butter. I love that.
Silly child. Yes. So we appreciate it. We pay tribute to it. We thank you for being forward thinking and insisting instead of because they were trying to be, otherwise we would have been caged birds. But they gave us the platform. They gave us the platform and said, no, there's more to South African music than just Kwaito and Afro pop. And I mean, those places have those genres have their places, definitely, and they're part of our definition. But it's opened us up, and look where we are now in our diversity, in our sound.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So thank you to all of those. They were visionaries. Yeah. And I don't think we realized it at the time. Well, I certainly didn't. But looking back, I'm able to identify that, geez, these guys were actually onto something, and they made it happen.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm thankful to them for getting me on that path. There's a few guests that I'm going to be speaking to during the course of these Playful Soul Mates sessions. But Thank you, Khethi. Like, you are the most incredible Playful Soul Mate. I appreciate you. I love you, Mama. I wish you well in everything that you're doing and are going to do. Good luck for the jazz festival, jazz day thing that you're going to be doing with the youngins. One other game, I can't help myself, but like one other game I'd like us to play. It's not really a game. I want you know when you toss a pebble into a stream and it ripples, does something? I'd like you to toss your pebble into the stream, a gem, a word of wisdom for the young'uns who are getting into creativity and creative spaces. What would your parting words of wisdom be?
You are brave. You are brave. You are brave already. Okay, so that's right. And sometimes then you will. Yes, you are brave already because this is where you have identified yourself to be, and so be the bullet. And you're gonna have to charge me. Sometimes you're gonna walk into rooms where you have to stand your ground. You might say some things that might. Some of the battles, because also, the arts industry is full of like very emotional people, right? I mean, those are the stories we have not spoken about. But so sometimes you walk into a place where there's other drama that's got nothing to do with you, and you become the scapegoat sometimes, right? So you need to be grounded in yourself to have these assessments of like, wait, what was that? Where am I in that? How much of that was me and how much of you need to? Otherwise, you just get thrown, you get shelved without even knowing because you sided with the wrong person. Because at coffee, when you were not there was another beef that had nothing to do with you, and then you just got caught up in that. So you need to be grounded and be reflective, and maybe find also those people who allow you the safe spaces to reflect on what just happened. Where am I? I thought when I had an intention. So go back to your intention and stick to that. Because it's a whirlwind.
That's a beautiful one. Thank you for your pebble toss. And as Faisal says, ripples create frequencies. And on that note, I wish we could chat the whole evening, but like I said, I've got to go make dinner now. I am going to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for being the first ever Playful Soul Mate to join me on my first ever live. Oh my God, on my YouTube channel. Those are words that I never thought I'd be saying, right? If you'd asked me last year if I would be saying, come to my YouTube channel and like, thank you for watching. Never in a million years. So thank you, Mama, for taking the time to come and chat with us, to share your journey with us. I know it was only a snippet and there's loads more we could talk about, but yeah. At least we've started the conversation.
Wow, this has been beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of these episodes and to seeing our beautiful friends that you're going to be reconnecting us all with. This should be fun. But you have always been the connector as well, Pebbles. That's an important element for, because you're like, squash the beef. What beef? What are you talking about? Hey,
get on with it. There's stuff to be done, guys. But to the viewers at home, also, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our first ever Playful Soul Mates session. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel at Pebleroni, where you happen to be watching this now. Tell your friends about it. And there's a lot of other content that's going to be on here. I mean, if you go through the channel, you see there's my ponders, because I do like to ponder sometimes. Sometimes there's a bit of music as well. There's likely to be a bit more music this year because it is the year that I'm celebrating 20 years of Playful Soul. But thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Tune in 2 weeks' time when I'm going to be chatting to obviously not going to tell you now. You're going to have to tune in. See. But beautiful people, thanks for joining us on Playful Soul Mates. One album, many soulmates, countless stories. I almost forgot my own tagline. Goodbye, everybody.